Hey, we all know that impact of a golf swing is where the rubber meets the road. Today, we're going to talk about how the positions of your body affect your ability to get there. So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. Years ago, I was frustrated because I lost that. I was confused, I was frustrated, and then I met Moe Norman and learned the single plane swing. And so now I wake up every day and I know I'm going to hit it well, I know I'm going to play well, I know I'm going to have fun. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing. So nothing's more important in a golf swing than the moment of impact. And I call it a moment because that's where the club face strikes the ball. You want to have speed, you want to compress the ball, you want to put backspin on the golf ball, and you want to hit the ball perfectly straight. We all want to be more consistent, we want to be more accurate, we all want to hit ball longer distances, and we want to have a pain-free golf swing. So the question becomes, how can I produce that moment, what I call perfect impact, more consistently? Now, I want to talk you through impact. I want to demonstrate it for you and show you impact. I want to show you from the ground up and demonstrate to you that there's a particular position of the body that's critically important to producing that moment. And then I want to present to you the fact that wouldn't it be important to have an ideal golf swing to go with it to make that moment more consistently. So let's take a look at impact and see what goes on. We'll talk from the ground up here. So the first thing I want you to notice is the position of the feet. Lead foot has a rotation to it, trail foot is straight out, and you're going to see a different width for longer clubs, but generally the foot position is still the same. You're going to see the lower body at impact. When I go to this position, you're going to see the lead knee is flexed, there's rotation to the pelvis, and the trail foot is on the ground. Notice how the knee has come down a bit because of the rotation of my pelvis. Now we're going to move to the upper body. Notice how there's a side bend to the body. So I have a side bend. There's also a forward bend to the body. The forward bend will change based on the length of club I'm hitting. However, the side bend will remain the same. So I have the side bend and the forward bend. And now you see the lower body position, you see the upper body position. The torso is actually opened, but the shoulders look actually square. So the front of the shoulders are going more towards the target, but the torso is opened up. In other words, I can demonstrate that by doing this. Torso's open, front of the arms, shoulders square. Now, you see that's how lower body and upper body look at impact. But let's look at now the arms and the club. So now you see that the lead arm has aligned with the club shaft. The trail arm is also aligned with the shaft. The back of the hand is to the target, and the trail hand is under the club and slightly bent, with the arm slightly bent as well. So there's your impact position with lower body, upper body, arm position, and hand position. Now here's the final thing I want you to look at. Look at the club shaft position. So now if we look at the club shaft position, we see that the club goes through up to the shoulder from the face-on view. From the down the line view, it actually goes through the middle of my body or middle of my back. So that's what we consider the plane of the golf club. In other words, that's the design that this club, when you swing it, that's the design that this club was meant to be struck on. Now, you've seen the position of the body at impact. You've seen the position of the arms, the hands, and now the plane of the club at impact. So the question becomes, is there an easy way, through motion of the golf swing, to get through that moment more consistently? And the answer is absolutely yes. And that was how Moe Norman was the greatest ball striker that's ever lived, because his swing produced a more efficient and consistent way to get to the moment of impact. Now let me show you why those body positions, what I just showed you, lower body, tilt, upper body, knee bent, all those things are so important, because the position of the body at that moment of impact is teaching us that we've created a way to get to that position consistently without even knowing it. And let me get into a little detail here. It might sound a little complex, but I want to explain to you how the body works and why impact is actually produced from proper positioning of the body. Now, first thing I want you to understand is the body has ranges of motion or limits. If you want to kind of demonstrate this, you can take your arm. You can do this with pretty much any movement of your joint or you can do it with your arm, your leg, your pelvis, your hips, and I'll do a couple exhibitions here. But you can see if I take my arm, my range of motion of my arm is this far. Okay, so I can go from here to here, right? Now, if I tilt my body and I bring my upper arm in this direction and I don't move the upper arm, so if I hold this arm still, don't let it move, notice I only have so much range of motion now in the lower part of my arm. I can only go this far. So the question becomes, and the thing I'm demonstrating there is, if I change the position of my shoulder, I change the position of my upper arm, it limits my lower part of my arm. So the position of my body affected the range of motion of my forearm. For example, I can do this with my forearm right when my shoulder's here and my arm's here. When I put my tilt my body, put my shoulder here, don't move it, notice I can only go that far. So that's the range. I can limit the range of motion of my lead hand by positioning my body and my shoulder, upper arm differently. Now I'll do the same thing with my lower body. If I do this, if I put my knee into a flex position with my foot out, I hold the knee still, don't move it. I keep this foot on the ground, doesn't matter if you roll it or not, as long as I keep the heel on the ground, and I tilt my upper body, I put my body, I limit my pelvis, don't let the knee move, and now the tilt limits my torso. So I have two limitations, pelvis and torso. So now let me create impact for you, because knowing we have an upper body limit, we can create an upper body limit. Knowing we can create a lower body limit, I'm going to produce impact by showing you how my body, through its positions, produces impact. Okay, so watch this. So I'm taking a golf swing. I go into my lead knee flexed. There's that first part of limitation. I start rotating coming down. Now, my lower body reaches a limit. It can't go very far. Notice the tilt of my upper body. Remember that side bend? The tilt of my upper body, as I'm rotating, also produces a limit, which limits my shoulder. See that? Limits my shoulder. And now, lower body gets limited, upper body starts getting limited. Now the only thing left is the arms and hands come forward and again, reach a limitation. Remember that? Reach that limitation there. And guess what? I just produced impact. So you saw me show you impact, and then you saw me show you the positions of my body that produce impact. Even though the body's rotating, you created limitations. Let me go through that one more time. I limited knee position, foot down. I limited by side bend, the rotation of the body. So I've limited rotations, which produce a square face. Remember how the back of the hand needs to be square to the face? Well, that's automatically produced with my limitations. Now, I want to explain one more thing to you before we move on. You can see how important the grip becomes, because now, if your hand is not aligned with the face correctly, when you produce that limitation, the face won't be square. Now you're seeing how Moe Norman became the greatest ball striker that's ever lived, because he produced a golf swing, we call the single plane swing, that allowed for the positions of the body to repeat themselves based on the body's ranges of motion. Now in this next series of videos you're going to see, I'm going to teach you the 4 basics to Moe Norman's single plane swing and how he accomplished perfect impact. So let's hit a couple and let's just kind of show you how this works. So I'm addressing the ball very similar to where I'm trying to get to at impact, and then take the club back. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to produce those limitations. And what's funny is it all starts with the lower body, really, because the lower body is where the limitations start. And there's limitations when we make a backswing too. We're going to cover all that. I cover all that in other videos. But you're going to see that in the downswing, the limitation starts in that lead knee. And then it does this. Boom, 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 finish. And the limitations are already there. They're built in. The limitations are built in to my motion here. So again, building in the limitations just from position. Position here, built-in limitations. So look, the reason Moe Norman was the greatest ball striker that's ever lived is because he could achieve perfect impact. But it's more than that. Because his golf swing, from the start of it, into the backswing, into the limitation of the leg, into the limitation he created with his body through impact, produced the most consistent way for him to get the club face square. And that's how he did it. Hey, if you're enjoying the content, learning the single point swing, subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.